Bonjour friend, good evening. Welcome this Tuesday night for a new episode of I See by Ilanit, a place for intimate conversation on spiritual topic, also a place for you to have your question and get some answer, get some intuitive guidance and mindful life coaching. So I want to say hi to all of you that are coming either from my page or profile, from Joseph or dear Joseph and Kristen, always so supportive of the community to bring the teaching, to bring the love, to bring the healing for all those that are open to receive it. So I am your host. For the one that are not familiar with who I am, I'm Ilanit. And as you can tell from the accent, I come from France and moved here, then Florida, back in 2000, where I was offered a job as a school teacher uh, following my graduation from the university in Paris. And eventually, my spiritual journey I started many years prior to that. But as I came here, things became more and more clear that it was really the path of teaching that I was meant to take. And so I founded my own group called I See by Ilanit, which is a word game. I See, of course, is about seeing by me, the way I see things, the way I'd like to educate people on spiritual matter. And it also stands for intuitive counseling. And like I said, it's a set of tools, a set of teaching, a mix of different influences that I myself, learned through my life to help people, see life through a mindful eye, to be able to be empowered to live the best version of themselves, what we call the higher self, and also to create the life and the realities they want to see, because the main concept that we find in every philosophy, spirituality, is to realize that we are master creator, and it is through our intentions, our consciousness, that reality unfolds. And really, every circumstances that happen in our life, from the people that are around us, the situation that we encounter, the idea of being mindful is to start looking at things from a point of view of the glass of water that is half full, which means to see that every situation, every challenges even, are really opportunity for us to grow and to use our free will and to better ourselves. And like many have been saying prior me, is to see that life is not happening to us, but is happening for us. So I see a few people already saying hello. I just want to let you know that through the show, I do take callers either, live here for people that are more shy, through the messages that they are sending me to provide guidance. And don't do tarot card, but I use different affirmation cards, all specify in certain areas, and just allows, whatever intuitively comes to provide. And it is a discussion. I always say, it's about creating a space, as we say in yoga, to hold space that between me and whoever become my friend, my partner at the time, working together to have the light force, being revealed between us, telling us what we should know, so we can really create the life that we want, and also have an impact, a positive impact in the world, in the life of others. So I see Caroline. Hello from Oregon. Hi, Caroline. So the topic that I decided to pick tonight, I named it that way: self-care / love, selfish or selfless. And so before we go into it, I would like to invite you who are watching right now to just take a moment, to take a pause, and to set the intention for tonight. And so I'm going to use my singing bowl. We know that through sound, we can clear the space, we can clear our mind, and just allow to be in the present moment. So you can word it your own way, but I pick tonight, for whoever is open to say, I allow myself to love and care for myself. I am worthy. Very nice. So before going into that topic, we need to remind ourselves about an essential concept that's going to give us the support system to understand that question and to get an answer. We know that everything is energy, okay? And when we talk about energy, we talked about how energy circulates, let's say per se, in a light bulb. We have the plus pole, the negative pole, and the filament that allow the energy to travel and create a circuitry of energy. And many times people think plus and minus as good or bad, and is not such a thing. And those type of energy really exist inside of us. And in order for them to be balanced, it should be a little bit of both, some plus, some minus. When we translate those terms plus and minus into regular language, is the idea of sharing and receiving. I have found into the teaching of Kabbalah the root, the foundation of all the spirituality that I've studied that was resonating the most with who I was from inside. And Kabbalah in Hebrew means to receive, and is really the idea of learning the rules, the understanding of the game of life, and how, in order to fulfill it, we need to constantly ask ourselves, are things circulating properly? Or are we having some stagnant energies that eventually, on the long run, can create some challenges? So now, like I said, the initial system between sharing and receiving was supposed to be a balanced system. You share some, you get some. However, when we go to extremes, when we become not just receive but we take, and we don't just share but we give, we outpour ourselves, then imbalance exists. And now this system is really was rooted into the birth of humanity and was rooted into the idea that if we balance these things, we're going to find the right balance between us, human being, being somehow a vessel of receiving the light force of the divine. However, many times, because we are aware of this position of receiver that create a feeling sometimes of lack if it's not completely fulfilled, if we didn't understood how to fulfill it properly, then we have two types of people that going to act at the extreme of those two poles. You have people that become takers and they understand that this hole that I feel, I can only fulfill it by taking, is the me consciousness. Or you have people, for whatever reason, that interpret it, if I want to fulfill this lack, I need to give more, more, more. This is how eventually my energy is going to make me receive this feeling that I am doing something and I'm fulfilling this lack. Now we need to understand that this feeling of extreme, this feeling of feeling the lack, is caused by traumatic experiences. Now what we need to realize, and this is the second part of the teaching, whether when we are born and early on in our life we experience some traumatic situation, and most people know what it could be, living in an environment that is unsafe, being exposed to things we should not be, or we experience this even from another lifetime. We come with a memory. We know that the soul is eternal, and sometimes the hard drive keep remembering things that we had experienced that were maybe traumatic, and then we have some somatization in our body. The reality is, and this is bring us back to the early days of the study of the human spirit and psychology back in the 1900s with Freud. The reality is we are all traumatized. So eventually we all gonna find coping mechanisms. And like I say, they're either on the extreme plus or the extreme minus. Indeed, if we go back to Freud, Freud said that what happened to a child at the time of birth is probably one of the most traumatic experiences that's going to set him on the path of all the future anxiety or fears. Indeed, we need to understand that a soul, a young body, transitions from an environment that is considered heaven. And we have learned also that the body is nurtured, is in the womb, is surrounded by water. We know that water is the energy of mercy and healing. Spiritual teaching said at the time of the pregnancy, the soul of the child is actually living his life between those two worlds. His soul is educated about life on earth and his journey, while the body is getting nurtured by all the good things that the mother can provide. So imagine coming into this drastic journey of birthing a child into a world that suddenly is chaotic, is loud, is bright, it's scary. So we all come with that feeling of trauma that we all want to resolve eventually and get the fulfillment that will allow us to feel okay with it. And this is where come, all the different coping mechanisms. Like I say, you have some people that are going to focus on getting things and develop, patterns or how they feel better about themselves. Or you have people that are going to be focused on constantly sharing. However, what is happening is coping mechanism. If we don't address the traumas, the original traumas or the traumas of our life, it's only patching a wall. And I would like to share a story in a moment, just trying not to take a little pause and say hello to whoever is here in the room today. So I see Lisa is here. Hi, Lisa. And Donna Marie. Monica is here. Great. Yeah, Donna Marie, I'll come into reading. So say hi. I also have Nikki. Hi, Nikki. I think, is it your first time? I don't recognize your name. If you just want to share with me where you're texting from, that would be nice to get to know you a little bit more. Okay. So Donna Marie, give me a moment. I will come back to more reading. And just want to remind people that are listening tonight, if you want to come live, you can click on the link in the descriptive. Actually, I think I can do that also. I'm going to post it here right now. Let's see if it works. Yes, I posted it. I learned this new trick today. So if you want to come live, you can just click on this link. So let's talk about this idea of patching. There's a story of this person that found a crack in its wall. Sorry. And of course, the first thing he does is just to get some plaster and paint back and patch the wall. But after some time, the cracks comes again, right? So again, he says, I don't know what's going on with this wall. And he starts plastering it, painting it again. More time passes and the cracks come again, and eventually you realize that maybe something is happening behind the wall that is causing that. And of course, you found that there is a pipe that is leaking, and so the walls keep on breaking. And this is a very good imagery about ourselves. We have those cracks, and we need to be at two places. They are not real and they are real, because if we understand that our soul is perfect, then we should be good. But yet we have a physical envelope and we have a psyche that did experience things through life. And so, of course, we need to be able to be at two places to be able to overcome it and understand that those are challenges, mental challenges, physical challenges that are here to get us to a place of elevation where we can raise above what some people would say it's an illusion, which is not completely an illusion, but it's just a figure of speech. But we need also to be on the 1% reality. We need to acknowledge situation. We cannot deny. And this is really what we're going to talk in the following part. We cannot deny our feelings. We cannot deny the fact that we might have experienced traumatic, suffering, situations that have been causing us maybe to feel unworthy, to not feel loved, to feel unsafe, and to develop things that are hurting us, and we keep hurting ourselves even though long time after those things have been happening. So we need to understand that, especially when it comes to people that are spiritually awakened, there is that dynamic that many times takes place, that for the time of an awakening, a person will realize that we're here on a mission. People will say, life is a journey. Everything that happened to me happened for a reason. And eventually we are here, to use the situation and generate light out of it. Like I say, is to create light out of the darkness. But unfortunately, what's happened, many spiritual people kind of bury their pain, cover their trauma, just like the plastering of the wall. And as you can imagine, when we are in the field of spirituality and mindfulness, it's an ongoing journey that we keep on learning. So if you were to come and visit me, you will know that I at least have 15, 20 books at all time open and revisiting them, and new books and old books that are part of really my holy grail. And so recently I was reading again some of the writing of Louise Hay, that is definitely a pioneer in the field of body, mind, and soul healing and relation with those three instances. And so I was reading a bit about her story, skipping the part how she got there, but how she got involved into mindfulness and spiritual teaching. And she will say, for the longest time, she was on the top of the world. She understood all the concept. She was a teacher. She was a guide. And she would be able, to use what everybody knows when we go in spirituality, or extrasensorial ability or consciousness to eventually see miracles, coincidence, serendipity, things happening constantly just because we raise our vibration. And now we are much more aligned with the universe and the belief that things will work out in the perfect way and in an obvious way. Is like, you're thinking, oh, I will need, like she said, I wish I could find a reflexologist because I know this would be good with an element. And next thing she knows, she cannot sit in the same place of study and sit in a different seat, and somebody come next to her, and so they introduce each other, and guess what? He's a reflexologist, right? So this is kind of thing I'm sure of people that are already involved in living life in a mindful way had those type of moment, you know. And sometimes there's even more things that we can do. I remember using some of the tools of meditation and visualization, especially from the teaching of Kabbalah, and just saying, okay, I need a parking space, and suddenly next thing you know, the car is pulling out, you know, those type of things. But then suddenly, after a few years doing that, there was two things that was already making her question that something was not completely aligned. First of all, she would say she didn't understand why she many times attract people that she was busy teaching, but she would attract people that were not eventually doing the work. Interesting. People would come to her, but a big percentage would not be able to implement all the things that she had said, even though it made completely sense. And so around that time, she was diagnosed, as she shared, with ovarian cancer. And of course, the first reaction, and I can tell about my own experience with that, is why is it happening? And so, of course, we cannot say why me, because why not me? But when we are people, and especially this has to do with a journey of souls that work really hard to better themselves, and many times it has to do because many traumas must have had happened that they feel now they have something to sink their teeth in and to make sure life will be better. She wondered. And so one of her initial mentors said, you know, there's still anger inside of you and resentment. And so she understood that at that moment, it was the opportunity for her to really do the work. Not that in the past she didn't do it, not in the past that each one of us, we are not trying really hard, but it comes by layers. And so if we have different experiences that were traumatic, we try to find the answer that's going to make us feel at peace. But eventually, we many times going to have to go deeper if we didn't completely transform our relation to that event. And we didn't really seal the wounds. And so really this idea of self-care become predominant into that process. Because many times as light worker or people that have this very positive energy that is a coping mechanism, those people tend to only give and not recharge themselves. So we'll come to that, but I see more people here and I'm going to start to take some. I see Cindy is here. Hi, Cindy. Thank you for your like. Okay. Okay, so thank you, Tina. I am glad you're here tonight. Welcome. If you want always my update, because sometimes like Sunday, I come, you know, spontaneously. It's not my regular show time. You can like my page at IC by Ilanit. Let me put that down so you can. And this, yes, is also my information. So thank you. Let me know if you want a reading, whether you come live by clicking on the link at the top of the description or just through text like messages. So let me see. So I had before Donna Marie. Are you still here, Donna Marie? Let me know. If you are, I will read for you some. Donna Marie, are you here? No, I don't. Okay, so I'll come back to you. So Caroline. Hey, Caroline. So Any specific question, Caroline, at this moment? Okay. So I would like to invite you to please connect telepathically with me, visualizing the space between us to be filled with the light force of the divine. Okay, not a specific question. Okay. Just to receive some guidance about maybe, what type of self-care thing and areas you need to acknowledge and take care of. Okay. Caroline. All right. Okay, Caroline. So the card I picked, give me different affirmation and different teachings. And as we say, the idea of using affirmation cards and doing this kind of randomly, even though there's no such a thing as random or coincidental, it's just to try to have this communication with the divine to discuss with us, because we need to remember that the life force want the best for us and want to talk with us. Okay, so the message I'm getting for you, Caroline, is connected to the fourth chakra, the heart chakra. And it's telling me that you carry a lot of emotion internally about certain feelings that you don't express, things that you haven't been completely able to forgive, and that are still affecting you on different levels. That feeling that maybe you've been wrong when all you always wanted is to be loved, and you did everything you could. And so you need to remember, like I said, to have compassion, because at the end of the day, and this is what I was telling at the beginning of the show, the energetic system works with plus and minus, people that share, people that receive. And then unfortunately, that corrupts it when we go to the extreme. And so many times when people are not able to appreciate what we are giving, when they cannot give back, is many times because themselves they are busy with the negative pattern of their being. And it doesn't justify what someone does, means I was reading something today, we don't have to all agree, and we don't have to all be in a place of perfection, but we can at least have human dignity for one another and just being nice. And so really it's this card is telling me to maybe find ways that are proper to you, self-care practice that are proper to you, that will allow you to release those feelings, to acknowledge it first, of course, and to do some homework about exactly who are the people, what are the situations, and how also, because many times what's happened, more recent triggers many times are really reawakening older feelings, older emotion. And it's really about work, and I'm about tonight to do a meditation, hopefully I will get there, about self-love, self-worth, is really instead of being busy or how come they didn't give you, you giving it to yourself. And really when you forgive people, and please let me know if it makes sense to you what I'm talking about, or if you want to specify anything. When you forgive person, for their ways, you don't even do it for them. You're doing for you to set yourself free. Okay? And so it's to learn that when you give to yourself this love, this compassion, then you become that love and compassion. And eventually, this is the feeling you will feel. Instead of if you feel anger or resentment or why people are like this is what you will carry with you. So again, it's really this idea that being mindful about the thought, to acknowledge them, not to be just, again, not to feel guilty or ashamed about what are our feelings, but just not letting them controlling us. So this is what I would say for whatever. And when we do that, when we really work on being the chemist of our life, the alchemist, people say, of our life, eventually it doesn't matter what's happening outside, because it will be turned into gold, is really the philosophical stone, by using the tools of spirituality, breath work, meditation, anything that allowed us to raise our consciousness or energy level, eventually anything can be turned into gold. So I hope it helped, Caroline. Okay, no specific question. So I hope, whatever was the message for you tonight is something that can help you in your growth and practice journey. I want to remind people, that I come live, and it is an honor and it is a gift for me that I received to be able to communicate with all of you. But just for you to know that I do also a personal meeting, a one-on-one. I have different tools, and in different sessions that we can do, I do life path reading using Kabbalistic numerology and astrology. I see Sandra. Hi, Sandra. And I also do chakra alignment and breath work to reestablish well-being. And I do also work on creating with you what would be a good self-care practice according to who you are, which is one of the things that I wanted to discuss next. The idea of self-practice and self-care, self-love, is any activity that you do to take care of you, right? To rejuvenate your body, to refresh your mind, and realign your spirit. It's supposed to, at the same time, relaxes you and refuel you to become the best version of yourself, okay? And so like this, you can fulfill your purpose, and you can have a positive effect in your surrounding and at once the world. But self-care practices are unique to each person and cover different areas. You have physical, emotional, social, mental, spiritual, and practical self-care practice. And really, there is such an array, and it's not automatically typically what people will think, oh, I need to do yoga and meditate. No, there's a lot more things that can be done to find. And one of the ways to find out, well, is to try, first of all, but is really to understand who you are. And when I do readings and I do path life, we understand a little bit more what is your energy, what are you influenced by. It's also finding practices that align with time and space, the elements, the time of the year, the time of the month, and how we can use it to our benefit, because the light force is in everything. Like people say, hug a tree. Yes, hug a tree is full of energy. The energy of grounding, the energy of being strong and steady, the energy of flourishing, nourishing, sharing oxygen, right? So each one of us has a journey to take to figure out what are the self-care practices that would allow us to take care of ourselves. So before I go on, Caroline, thank you so much. My pleasure. And like I say, if you liked my page at IC by Ilanit, this is where you will get quickly all the update when I come live. I also do a daily posting of messages that I'm inspired and to write. And just share with your friend, like and support. This is how we keep the light going and spreading it and creating, like we say, tipping the scale on the side of the light. If I'm doing reading tonight, yes, I do, Tina. You can choose to come live if you want to by clicking on the StreamYard link at the top of the description. Or if you have a question in mind, let me know. Or if not, just to allow me, to pick whatever set of mantra cards, and I'm inclined to pick for you that will give you a message. Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna take Deborah. Deborah, are you still here? Just send me a message so I know that you are still in the room. Okay, we're gonna give Deborah a few minutes just to see if she's still here, so I can read for her. Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna take Tina meanwhile. Okay, Tina? So let me pick this card. Okay, so like I said, let's create, this round. I like to see ourselves like we were kids, holding each other's hands, linking our mind, taking our heart together, creating a beautiful space for the divine to come in between and deliver us a message of empowerment, of guidance. Okay. Okay, Tina. Okay, Tina. So let me know if it applies. But through the card I'm getting, it's oh, okay. You want to come live, Tina? Yeah. Should I bring you in? Perfect. Okay. Hey, Tina.
Hey, how are you?
Good. I recognize you. I recognize your face. Actually, I want to share something if you don't mind.
Okay.
Sunday, I decided to come live, again, intuitively say, okay, let's do that. Let's see who can show up this Sunday. And the house was packed. Like I did six reading, but
Oh, wow.
couldn't understand. Yes, but just couldn't understand why nobody would come live and just sending me messages. Which when you are an intuitive, it's always beautiful to realize that there's no limitation. Means you connect to the energy of a person through another person, through pictures. It doesn't matter. It's just to be open to know that we're all connected.
Right.
Well, eventually, what I realized after the show was over. I never posted the link.
Oh,
So I was like, okay, rookie mistake, but me and technology, that's not exactly.
yeah,
Are
I'm
not
learning too. I'm learning too.
okay, but any case, it's so nice to see you. Okay, so let me ask you: are you onto new endeavor, or are you considering new things?
I'm
Be-
looking.
Okay, because this is what I'm told. I say, I need to believe, I need to have faith that even though things are not revealed to me yet, it's full of possibility. Okay, the new might sound a little bit unknown, scary.
Hmm.
So what we do, we use tools. Okay, for example, last night was full moon. And
Right.
it was a great time. We know that from the time of the new moon until the full moon, that is the epitome. And I think actually I was reading somewhere that the energy of the full moon is still accessible tonight, because I was told it was like almost 2 night full moon. What you can do 2 exercise. Okay, the first one is to release what you believe doesn't serve you. So you can do a little bit later, you can do a list on a page or a piece of paper of the thing that you would like to release, okay? But still with gratitude, okay? This had served me enough, but now I'm ready to release it, okay?
Okay.
And then when you are ready and you can go outside and still be under the moon, to burn that piece of paper, okay? So you send into the universe, I'm ready to whatever is not serving me. And then maybe taking some time to journal and to have positive of affirmation, to use specific about what you would like to come. So it might not be specifically a job or a relationship, but you want to have the outer, the definition of
Yeah,
how it should look
right.
like. Okay. And just to remember, when we're in a place of new, it's also can be very exciting. So just to wake up and instant saying, oh, I don't know if today is going to be the day that, you know, I'm going to have more clarity or if something's going to change. The
Right.
opposite. We need to wake up the morning. Yes, today it's a new day. And I was telling today, I said, today is the day that thousands of people are going to find me and going to log to the show. Because if you cannot dream it, you cannot see it.
Right.
Okay. Right. And you really need to have faith of, okay, something new is coming and the process to get there is great. Okay.
Okay.
So this is what, let me see. Uh, yeah. This is what discussing what is it that you want to stop happening that were good enough until now, but now you want something else. With gratitude is very important because we tend to forget that, I always say people forget the old story of Cinderella. They always go to and they live happily ever after. Well,
Right.
meanwhile she went through a big process of being, not treated that right,
Mm.
or but her spirit was always to be grateful and singing and communicating with
Being
nature,
happy, right?
which is for us the message. Communicate with nature, be in the moment, doing with your love, because I started the show with that everything is energy. So wherever we put our energy with 100% of intention, the
Hmm.
energy will come back and hopefully will come back the way we wish it comes back to us. Okay.
Sounds good.
Okay, Tina. So hope you. I think I'm going to go a little bit longer with finishing covering this concept of self love and self care, and maybe do a meditation. So we'll be happy if you stay
Okay.
and
Thank you
connect with me. Okay.
so
Thank
much.
you for coming, and
Thank
please share
you.
with your friend and come
I will
next time. Okay.
definitely. Thank you.
Good
Good
night,
night.
Tina. Bye. Okay. So okay. So Deborah didn't apparently come back, so another time. So yes, just to wrap up on this topic of self-love and self-care, is to remember that, like I said, everything is energy. So when we generate toward ourselves an energy of love, of healing, it doesn't only benefit ourselves, but it benefits the people all around us and the world at large. Okay, we need to remember that, especially if we're on the side of always sharing, which has term giving, okay? We might do the action, but it's like somebody shaking your hand and there's can see even if you give a smile, you're not smiling on the inside, right? So even if we do good deeds and good actions, but our heart and soul is not in his highest vibration, it will transcribe and you will start seeing, some negative feedback sending you. And I can tell you for a fact that if you're not taking care of yourself and you still do, and you seemingly you're good, you're a good person, you're the one who share, you will start seeing, the world around you, slowly, you know, not completely collapsing, but giving you the feedback about how you really feel. And since we are full of energy of people circulating around us, we need to assure that we are feeling in the right place at this moment. Okay. So how do we do that? So we need to check with ourselves. We need to can't treat ourselves the way we would treat a friend. We pick up the phone, right? We ask how you're doing. We say nice word. We let them know that we are there if they need anything. Okay. And the thing is, when you check with yourself, and it can be up to 3, 4 times a day. Okay, how are you feeling now? Especially if something happened and you can sense, not right away, but your spirit deflating. Because if we are in a place of always giving, chances are our energy level runs on low many times. And so a challenge will occur, something will not work the way we were expecting, then suddenly we find ourselves in a pit. So we need to check ourselves 3, 4 times a day. Ask the question, say it out loud, write down on a journal, and ask, what is it that you need right now? Do you need encouragement? Give it to yourself. Uh, Kristen is always saying, hug yourself, love yourself, say how beautiful you are, how much you have been accomplished so far. Okay? If you need rest, take it. If you need exercise, just do it, right? If you need nutritional food, eat it. And if you need a supportive environment, go and find it. This is how I share this story many times. This is what had happened to me. I was always living much more undercover in the shadows. And I felt at some point, I guess, the whole situation with COVID made me even more isolated and made me took away whatever was my own personal coping mechanisms to fill up the time and the space so you don't feel that you are on your own. And so eventually searching around, in groups, in chats, people that were like-minded people, this is how I found Kristen and Joseph. And like I always say, souls tend to recognize each other. And this is where we knew that we belong together, right? Sounds like a song. Okay, so just remember that when we take care of ourselves, we actually don't do it, you know, for negative reason. If our consciousness is in the right place, if our consciousness is to be the best version of ourselves, if our desire is to affect our environment and the world in a positive way. Okay, so take the time, treat yourself because you are worthy and you deserve love. Okay. And as you give to yourself, you become that energy and you can shine it all around. So I'm going to give a last check to see if anyone is here. I want to thank all of you that came tonight. Thank you, Tina, Lisa, Donna Marie, Monica. Thank you all. It's such a great joy to have you here. And so just to remind you, the show is usually every Tuesday at 8 p.m. Teachings, questions, answer, and readings, and a meditation maybe now. So let's do that. I would like to invite you to sit in a comfortable position and close your eyes. You want to uncross your legs, uncross your arms. Become aware of your body and how you sit, how you feel, wherever you are. Relax your body, relax your head, your shoulders, your hands, your arms. Relax your legs, your feet, your skin, your mind. And allow my voice, my words, to guide you into your subconscious mind. Now bring your attention into your breathing. Breathe in deeply and exhale out. Breathe in love, healing, and light. Exhale off your fears, doubts, and negative feelings about yourself. Breathe in and out. Now visualize yourself through your third eye into the middle of your forehead, into the most beautiful, loving, peaceful place. Feel this energy, loving, caring for you, healing you, wrapping you into a warm blanket. Each one of us deserves to be loved, to live well, to be healthy, to be happy. Each one of us has the ability and the duty to love ourselves more each day. So see yourself surrounded by love. See yourself happy, healthy, and whole. See yourself as you would like your life to be. Know that you are worthy of it. Now taking this love from your heart and let it begin to flow, filling your body, filling your mind, reawakening your soul. Let your love flow outside, around the room, around your home, until you get this feeling that you are at the center of a gigantic center of love. Let it circulate over and over again. And I repeat to yourself, as I take care of myself with love, I am love. As I take care of myself, I take care of the world. As I take care of myself, I honor the light within me. And so as you go through your day, make sure to always remember that the way you care for yourself is the way you care for others. So whenever you are ready, wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes, maybe move your head from side to side, and open your eyes. Thank you for all of you that are listening. Okay, it was such a pleasure to have you. I'm thanking you all. Just remember that the light is all we need. Love is all what we need. So I'm wishing you a beautiful night. Please come on, stop by again next time that I come. Say hello, and wishing you a beautiful night. And so let me see. Here it is. Good night.